Welcome to Mission Mentor. This is the second week. Last week I wasn't here to help with the field one, so we got Logan this week. So if you were tuning in for anyone else, I'm sorry. It's Logan. So I wanted, if y'all have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. I know Mike Clark asked the first question, which was, why do you look so goofy?
It's a great question, Mike. Appreciate that.
Not mine.
I have a note here that says literally, question from Mike Clark. Why do you look so goofy?
It's a simple answer.
It is.
Yeah, because I take after Mike. So
Logan, I have a question for Logan. Logan,
yeah.
You've been here 1 year now, correct? About
yeah,
a year?
my 1 year anniversary was, I think, a week or two ago.
So could you tell us all why you have adopted to EPM's 4 cores and how it's helped you and how you could help others with it?
Ooh, hitting it out. Yeah,
question.
right out the gate.
I've adopted to the 4 cores. I think it started with the 23 fundamentals, and it was clarified and been able to be like more focused. But living the 23 fundamentals was easy. It's kind of just what you do on a daily basis. When you care about a company you like working for, you go through and you just be able to deliver. I think the thing that makes it really motivating, you get a lot of energy, is from like having a lot of fun, and you just focus on what needs to happen, and you do the right thing, and you continue to just do it to your best ability. I think that really is what the company's all about.
Yeah,
you're going to have mistakes. You're going to learn from those mistakes.
But the question was, how do you adapt?
I adapt? How
did you adapt to it? Did you feel like you had to? Or?
I don't think I really had to. I kind of felt like I already lived the core values.
Yeah, you do struggle well.
Yes.
You definitely are unique. No, I'm just. I think that's really cool too. So, anybody else have any questions? End it now? No. So that is one of my questions that I had to do. How do you live out the 4 core, right? So can you tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are? What is your title? And how did you get here? Where did you start out?
Yeah, so my official title is Executive Vice President of Secondary Fulfillment. And I started here actually as the Vice President of Pooling and Aggregation. And then I've had a kind of a unique experience in the mortgage industry. Started as a contractor working with Countrywide, doing loan processing, actually, like a lot of data like entry, suspense coordinating, and then moved over to become a loan processor. I had been promoted to be a manager. And then I've Bank of America was where I started after the transition, and moved over to PennyMac. Learned a little bit more about the correspondent business. I was always in like a retail up front. And then from there, I went back to Bank of America, oversaw a division, the Greater Los Angeles division, and I did that for about 3 years. It was a great experience working with loan officers, borrowers. Really, you get to see kind of the best of both worlds. You get to see both ends of the spectrum. Frustration, plus you also get to see like the highs, the borrower getting the keys to their home and everything like that. And then you're able to play a part in facilitating that. So it was really fun. And then I moved over to AmeriHome and worked more with overseeing 2 divisions on their correspondent channel, client channel. And then I came over to EPM when we moved across the country. So my wife had this vision of going to Georgia, visited a couple times, and I was.
So y'all moved here before you got the job?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. I thought y'all moved here because of the job.
No, we came over.
The more you know.
Yeah, and we moved during social unrest, the pandemic, and I kind of pushed back in every single way. It's not that I don't like change, but it's just where you know where your support is. And my family is all in California, and my friends are kind of around California too, but just completely out of my comfort zone, move across the country. And I hate to admit it because my wife, I have to say this, she was right. And it tears me up inside to admit that she was absolutely correct, that this was the best move for our family. And I don't regret it at all.
Is Yesenia on here? What can she say, right? Yay, Yesenia. I mean, I'm grateful. He bought a big truck too. Look,
So,
15 questions, wow.
So I turned into, I'm trying to fit in, got my overalls.
Yeah, you got to tell the hire story though. I mean, people are like, tell us the hire story, tell us the hire story. So you have to, so if you don't know anything about Logan, you're going to learn more today. But the funniest thing is how he got hired. And that involves Frank and Phil. And so you tell the story. So
I'll do my best to make it PG-13. So if you know Phil and Frank, they have quite the vocabulary, the dialogue that's already kind of ingrained in them. So I start looking, kind of putting out feelers. I get a call from Phil, and it's out of the blue, and he's talking really quick. It's like, all right, I don't have much time. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You got to answer them like really quickly, and then we'll go from there. So rapid fire, back, quick question, answer. And then about midway through one of my answers, he's like, hold on. And then he puts it on hold, takes a call or a text, comes back on. And that happens about 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh, what is this? What kind of interview is this? It's crazy. About, I think 15 minutes into the conversation, he puts me on hold, and then he calls Frank. And then now it's a 3-way conversation. And then Phil goes, he tells Frank. I don't know if Frank and Phil had a conversation prior to coming on to the call.
No, Frank's saying no.
Okay,
they did.
So Frank gets on the call, and Phil goes, "You're gonna hire this guy, or I'm gonna quit." And Frank's like, "Whoa!" He thinks it's a joke, right? He doesn't think that I'm like an actual candidate. So Frank goes, "Oh yeah, right, okay, Phil, all right," because that's how they talk. So then they start kind of we have a little bit more conversation, and then Frank goes, "Oh, where are you at? Who is this guy? Are you in his basement? What are you doing, little boy? Are you in his basement?" I'm like, I have no idea what this is. I don't know if I'm being pranked or what's happening right now. And then Phil goes, "You can't ask him that. You can't say that." He's like, "How old are you, little boy?" And I'm like, and Phil's like, "You can't say that, Frank. What are you doing?" And then there's this back and forth, and I'm
Were you like this the whole time? You're like,
I had it on speaker because I couldn't believe it, and Yesenia could hear it, and she's like, we make eye contact with each other. We're like, what is happening? But
and in that moment, you knew this is the place I have to be.
I was like, this is the most unique thing I've ever experienced in my life. But it's things like that like I want to know more. This is sounds like an incredibly fun thing, bizarre. Yeah. But it was awesome.
And that was your first introduction to EPM at all, was that?
Yeah. Just it's just such a unique thing, just having that kind of that joke type. It was real, right? It's a genuine type of camaraderie type, even if it was a misunderstanding, just listening and talking to Frank and Phil and going back and forth. It was this, I will never experience anything like this at any other company, even though it's kind of not what you would expect from a company, but it's at the same time, this is people really just having conversations.
Frank wants to.
We negotiated his salary with him on the phone. Phil didn't hide anything.
I didn't get to that part, but
his health benefits, everything. And I had never done anything like that. Phil decided to be upfront with everything. He wanted to show him the way, I guess. I don't know. But it was the most interesting hire I ever had in my life, was Logan.
Mike asks the real question: who is your favorite CFO of all time? Mark says, "Who is this guy?"
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm Mark's caddy.
Mark's caddy.
I'm the one giving him tips on the golf course.
Oh, that's fighting words, I'm sure, for Mark. Okay, but Danae asked a really great question here. What has been one of the biggest obstacles for you, and how did you overcome it?
That's a really good question. And I think one of the biggest obstacles for me is actually myself, my own kind of train of thought, my own thinking. Sometimes when you face adversity and you really are putting all into it, and it doesn't really turn out the way you expect, or you didn't really focus correctly on what kind of tackling the problem, and you realize that it's harder than what you anticipated it to be. Sometimes you can kind of go into a shell or get down on yourself. I have really high expectations of myself. I want to be able to execute at a really high level. So if you don't meet your own expectations and then those expectations of others, for me, my mental thought process was to kind of get into a frustrated mode, a little bit of a down mode, and I was my own obstacle. So being able to think about how you're going to tackle a problem, and no matter what you do in life, you're always going to kind of face some type of adversity, varying levels of adversity, but how you're able to mentally overcome that quickly, it really can set you in the right position in order to be able to succeed. So just knowing that you're always going to face problems and always face like hurdles, but just have the right frame of mind to know that you're going to overcome them. So sometimes it really is a matter of just putting things into perspective and knowing that you can take on those challenges.
And that's like Nicole Jolly says, how do you juggle your responsibilities for your personal and your work? Because we know you've said you're a dad, you're a husband, you're a family, you're friends, you're Mark's caddy, you you do all kinds of things for everybody.
Right.
And that kind of goes in with the question that Danae asked. So like, what's been one of your biggest obstacles? You said yourself, and how you overcome that is with the right mindset. But that goes into your responsibilities too. So, how do you juggle that?
Really, I try and prioritize as much as I can. There are times when my priorities may not align with what others are, hoping they are. I could definitely prioritize maybe spending more time doing school, work, family. But it really is about juggling it and being able to have some time management. There's times I do a great job of that, and there's times where I can obviously be a lot better, focus my priorities on team building, camaraderie, and then other times where I just need to kind of buckle down and focus on school projects and
that's something that many of you probably don't know is that he's in school. You're working on a degree, right?
Correct. I'm almost done with getting my MBA. So, and Mark's been giving me a lot of encouragement, asking me if I really can do it. Yeah. So like with like a serious face, but
it's like, can you really do this?
Yes, can you do that? So, but Mark, it's been pretty encouraging. So, but I think it's a lot of just constant awareness of what you need to get accomplished.
Hank called you Brad Pitt, by the way. So I'm gonna keep.
I've heard I'm more like a Kevin Love. So if you're a basketball fan, Kevin Love, I guess we both look goofy. So
I have to Google.
Kevin Love is apparently as goofy looking, or probably more handsome than I am, but that's kind of the comparison that I've heard of. So
this guy?
Yeah. Look at that intense smile. So if everyone can see,
does that look like? Can you lean forward for the world?
Can you tell who Logan is?
Who is Logan? Which one is Logan?
So
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a question. This is a great one. I think this is from Casey. I can't really tell, but do you yourself have a mentor? What do you gain by having a mentor? And how do you feel you compare as a mentor? So that's a loaded question. So we'll start with the first one. Do you yourself have a mentor?
I do. I have.
Is it me?
I wish it was. No. I have several mentors, actually. There's a lot of people who are incredibly caring. They're at EPM. There's Mike is an example of a mentor who really is showing the way. Being able to, the position I am is something that I haven't really tackled really fully in my career, but Mike has a wealth of knowledge and he's been able to share that with me and let me ask questions deeper and really kind of explain to me like what things need to happen, how to even just asking the certain questions. These are like new things to me, how to see things in a different way. And he's really good at being able to say, take a step back, determine what the process is, and then put together like a plan. There's mentors that, Carpatella has been a fantastic mentor. Mark, to some extent, I would say.
On the golf course.
Yeah. Eddie, Phil. I mean, everyone here really has a committed effort to invest in each other, and I think it's fantastic.
This says, who is Phil Mancuso? I thought it was about him.
That was
it's
last
always
week.
About Phil, yeah. No PG-13. We are all adults here.
We'll see.
Have you ever dealt with a demanding manager, and how did you handle it? This can be before EPM because you
Yeah.
kind of manage yourself now, I guess.
No, there's, I mean, no matter where you go, there's going to be demands that are placed on management that get trickled down. And even if you don't have a demanding manager, you have demands from yourself.
Right.
So yes, I've had managers who I thought were demanding. I viewed it as how they approach things a certain way, as maybe very straightforward and direct. And what I came to realize actually while I was at school is that because with the way I perceived them, it was incorrect. Actually, their communication style, their personality is a certain way because they want to get things done. I am not a social butterfly, but I'm more of a person that likes to have
a social moth.
Yeah, social mosquito.
Ooh,
but I have a personality trait that's a little bit different. So when I communicate, or when I'm being communicated to, it's because they have a thought in their mind. That's how they are. They want to be able to communicate what needs to be done and what the expectations are. I didn't see that. And now that when I've had a little bit more education, I'm able to understand what it is they're trying to accomplish and what it is they're actually trying to say or get done. Sometimes I have a tendency when information is being delivered to me a certain way, I can shut down. And I know that about myself now. Growing up, I don't know where I got it from, but during my childhood or during maybe early in my career, something happened to where it caused me to do that.
Yeah.
But if I'm communicated to where it's being yelled, like the instructions and stuff, that doesn't bode well for me being able to receive the message. It takes me a little bit longer to be able to digest what's being asked of me and then act. Whereas it's being approached in a certain way, I can receive the information a lot faster, get to the heart of the message, and then move forward, right? And then take action. So it really is.
Again, back to kind of your mindset too, right? There.
Exactly.
It's like knowing that.
So I would say that it's not so much as a demanding manager as more of like understanding what that person is actually trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that's good. Here's some fun questions that aren't just about overcoming things or what you do. So D wants to know when you're going to party with him. Okay, so write that down in a book.
Every day.
Anna wants to know, does she really speak that loud?
Anna, yeah. You have a there's just like Blaine, there's a megaphone on your face. So yeah. But it's good because Eddie, it's either I'd rather speak to you than get scared by Eddie's megaphone. So.
There are so many questions popping in. I'm sorry. So if we kind of move fast through these questions, it's like I didn't expect so many questions. So I'm excited. Logan, you have so many things. So funny ones and some real ones. Because if Logan is a very funny guy. So funny looking. So this is from Greg, and he wants to know, do you have any kind of business management philosophy that guides your decision making?
My overall philosophy is that high tides lifts all boats. I want everyone to succeed. So whatever I need to be able to do to facilitate that, I want to do that. Sorry, because if everyone is succeeding, then the company is succeeding, right? I want people to be able to learn and master what their current role is so that they can learn more about, what their future role is. Not just because they're doing one thing doesn't mean they're going to be doing something else another day. So understanding that your current role is not going to be your career or, what your ambition is. Understanding that I can play a part in that is really gives me a lot of energy, and being able to really guide people. I may not have the right advice at all times, but at least I'm there to help people think about things differently, how to approach, how to plan, and really see what we can do to work towards a mutual goal of getting them where they want to go. And then also, building a better foundation, more structure, and being able to really develop that type of culture, especially here at EPM, which is fantastic.
And also, I love, one of the things I love about you the most is how willing you are to give space to people too. All the time, you'll go to them, you'll kind of talk, lean down, talk to them, or get on their level, or talk to people. You always have space for people. It's hardly ever that you say like, Blaine, I can't talk to you right now. You're always laughing. So I do appreciate that too. So that's one way. And that leads us to the next question, which is how do you, from Shakira, how do you always keep your cool under pressure? How are you always managing to keep your cool?
That is a good question because I'm sometimes not always able to do it. I wear my emotions on my sleeves. I'm typically a very positive person. My number one strength actually during the Clifton Strengths is positivity, believe it or not. I'm a very blue, I guess blue high strength in terms of relationship building. So I'm just naturally positive because I love life. I love being alive. So it really helps to know that I woke up the next day, I'm ready to go. But I think I love the energy from talking to people. I like enjoying listening to conversations, getting to know people, asking questions about them, and getting to know more about what they do, what their aspirations are. But there are times when I'm facing adversity and I need to overcome it because people can feel it. And I know that in a position of leadership, you have to be able to show that every day that you're there and you're working on what they need you to do. So those are the times where it's a little bit hard for me, and I'm working on it. So always personal growth.
But you never really take it out on anybody when you get in those situations too. You just, anyway, I if you can't tell, I really love Logan. And so I think he's such a wonderful person. Ever since I met him, he talked me into growing a beard, him and Eric. So, All right. So I heard you were actually 5'4" though, and you walk on stilts. That's what LA said.
When the wind is blowing, I'm 5'2".
Okay.
So when it actually snowed the other day, I was 5'6".
Wow.
And then
it pushed you up.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
exactly.
High tide rises all boats. So,
Exactly. So I do have stilts.
But what did you want to be when you were growing up? This is from Suha. She wants to know, when you were a child, what did you dream about?
I wanted to actually be just an athlete.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to play sports. So I played baseball, Little League for the longest time. And then I actually tried out for my high school, I think it was JV team, and I got cut. So I was a chubby chunker. And
Chubby chunker. I don't know why I thought you were going to say be in the circus or something. Like a
professional clown.
Yeah.
That's what I am right now.
I don't know why. I was like, there's going to be something so random. And you went, I actually wanted to play baseball.
No, so I played football, and I thought, I would be able to maybe do something with that. But no, those guys are much faster and stronger and much more.
What'd you say?
Chubby chunkers.
Chubby chunker.
Yeah, those guys are much faster.
Why do you like the Bangles?
Because they're one of the best teams in Cincinnati. That's an easy question. It's an easy answer. The best team. Actually, I'm a Southern California USC Trojan fan. I didn't have a team to root for in the NFL, and I think it was 2001. And they had the #1 overall pick. I didn't want to be a bandwagon fan, so I chose them as the team I wanted to root for. And then they drafted Carson Palmer, who was the quarterback for USC, and it was kind of like a marriage of one thing I loved and one thing that I regret every day of my life. So it worked out really well.
And then I'm just looking through here. Yes, big Bengals fan. So yeah.
Why do I root against the Mets? The Mets are not a very good team. They're not a very good organization. So in terms of baseball, I think they're in first place, but it's a fluke. Give it a couple more weeks and they'll be.
Mets are in first place according to Mark.
Oh, Mark gets his information from the Onion, so he'll read anything.
And it's like, Mets, you're making people mad.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's not what you do. As someone who has worked in a big corporate environment, like you said, Bank of America, what is your position on work-life balance? How do you see it as well, it's like very hard for you right now, right? Because you got school, work, balance is, like you said, you have to make a priority.
It is challenging. As you move higher within an organization, you really have to know that there's going to be certain sacrifices that need to be made. You have to maybe commit a little bit more time. And Eddie has said it before, is that with technology, the line gets blurred. The more that time goes on, there's going to be times where you're going to check email in between at a party, and you may be sending emails, you're on a phone call. So it really kind of blends in, and it is important to understand that you do need to be able to have that balance. You have to have some me time, some reflection time, but also it comes back to being able to have time management, knowing when things are a priority, things need to get done in order for things to happen and people to succeed and companies to succeed. So you have to understand where you want to make your sacrifices, and then kind of be able to be okay with that and move forward with that, and where you don't want to make your sacrifices. Where is it that that's too high of a priority for you? And then you're saying, this is something that I cherish and I'm not going to be able to make these bend on this, but you know, I can make a sacrifice here and be able to move forward with that. So.
Great answers. You're doing a great job. And we're going to wrap up, and I'm going to ask one last question. So if y'all have any more questions that are burning desire, cut in now. You do not have to chat it. You can unmute and ask it. But we're going to ask one more question. We're trying to keep this in 30 minutes so you can get back to your workday. But unless anybody's got any questions, just go ahead and speak up. We got no more questions. Okay. So are you willing to be a mentor to someone?
Absolutely.
And so if somebody, you know, they're like, wow, like you took a random path to kind of get here. You're in an environment, you said, like you're still learning how to express yourself in your role or to take on this. So that's that's inspiring. So would you be willing?
Yeah, no, yeah. I think I already kind of am, in my opinion. I'm helping the leaders underneath me to just grow emotional intelligence, managerial skills, career objectives, and those type of things. But yes, I'm always open to being able to help people, give advice, give guidance. There's never going to be a question that I'm not willing to answer. So
awesome. And favorite books or authors? Will EPM have a buddy mentor program? That's a
good question.
That is a good question, Christy.
Yeah. I think we do have a buddy mentor program up kind of at the executive level, but that's something we should absolutely do company wide. Favorite books or authors? I would probably say, was it Michael Lewis? I think Moneyball, Liar's Poker. I think is my.
I thought you were gonna say Think Rich or Grow. What is it? Think and Grow.
Like Robert Kiyosaki.
That's Eddie's favorite book.
Oh no, that's no. You're Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say that. Yeah. But anyway, so what is your favorite author?
Is Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis.
Yeah, he did Moneyball, Liar's Poker, and then there's a couple other books he's had. Blindside. I think he's just a pretty good author, and I enjoy his books. So,
what is the overall takeaway from what we should walk away when we, what is Logan's overall message to everybody? Enjoy life. There's not enough time in the day to take it to where you're in a negative space or you're frustrated. It's every day is awesome, and you get to talk to people. Awesome. You get to joke. I have just as much fun at work as I do at home because of the people I'm surrounded with, because of the challenges I'm presented with. Those things are fun for me, and it really, if you can see it in a way where you are getting something out of it to grow yourself as well as grow the company, it's a win-win situation, and life is just great. So that's my kind of like how sad. Because I am funnier than Logan, Yesenia. Great advice. Thanks, Logan. But look, pay attention to that one. Yesenia is... All these are lies. I know. Thank you. Except for Olivia. She said, thank you, Logan. Loves lying. I was going to say, but I am very grateful for you, Logan, because you always make me laugh. And I think it's hardly, we don't have to do the same kind of work, so we get to just laugh. So thank you for being your positive self, and thank you for always bringing this. And this has been Mission Mentor, the second one. Next week, we'll be back on with Mike Clark, so he'll have his rebuttals to Logan's crap at the beginning. So thank you all for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.